Start. Mr. Chairman, sir, with great anguish, I rise to draw the attention of this House to the persisting problems of the handloom weavers of our nation, with particular reference to the problems of the handloom weavers of Tamil Nadu. Stop era. Sir, next to agriculture, the largest employment oriented industry is handlooms, which accommodates 3 crores of handloom weavers, and the land loom industry is being ignored day by day by the central government. Stop. Sir, during November or December last year, the government had announced that 22 items of products would be reserved for the handloom industry, but some people have gone to the court of law and got a stay order, and that stay order has not yet been got vacated by the government. Stop. Now I request the government to come forward with a new legislation or amendment which may be incorporated in the ninth schedule of our constitution to protect the interests of the handloom weavers. Stop era. As regards the rebate period, day by day the government is reducing the period from 60 days to 45 days, and now the government is attending to disallow and discontinue the entire rebate period. Stop. The state of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, West Bengal, and UP are demanding to maintain and restore 60 days of rebate period as it was before. Stop era. Sir, the handloom sector is highly employment oriented and gives succor to the rural and semi-urban areas. Stop. While in the power loom sector, one person can produce 80 meters of cloth on a power loom in 2 shifts of 8 hours each. In the handloom sector, one person can turn out only 10 meters of handloom fabrics with the same infrastructure and hours of work. Stop. Hence, the handloom sector offers more employment opportunities, and with an investment of merely rupees 2000, it would employ 5 persons in a day. So to mitigate the sufferings of the weavers, the government should come forward to provide employment to their wards and children in public sector departments. Stop. Para. Sir, the cess collected from the mills should be exclusively utilized for the handloom industries, and it should not be diverted to the general revenues of India. Stop. Another thing is that raw materials such as yarns and dyes are purchased at exorbitant rates. Stop. The rates of yarns supplied to the handloom industry are 30% higher than those supplied to the composite mills. Stop. Hence, this leads to a heavy difference in the cost of production itself. Stop. At this rate, the government should come forward to compensate this difference and to make the oldest cottage industry of the land viable. Stop era. Sir, the prevailing market prices of yarns to be utilized to produce handloom fabrics have increased by rupees 500 per bale, and thereby the cost of production of the handloom fabrics has also increased. Stop. Hence, the government should consider controlling the hike in the prices of yarns or coming forward to supply them to the handloom weavers at subsidized prices. Stop. It will save the handloom industry. Stop era. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, thank you very much for having given me this opportunity to speak on this factories amendment bill. Stop. The purpose of bringing this amendment, a major amendment by the Honorable Minister, is to give protection to the lives and security of the workers who are working in the factories. Stop. Sir, I would like to say that these amendments are long pending. Stop. In fact, when we compare India with other advanced countries, the rate of industrial mishaps and accidents which takes place in Western countries is not even 2%, whereas in our country it is more than 9%. Stop. The reason for that is the safety measures provided for workers in our factories are not adequate to protect the life of the worker. Stop era. Secondly, the authorities which have been given the responsibility of protecting the life of the worker while the worker is performing his duties have been reluctant to enforce the provisions of the Act. Stop. In fact, the factories situated in rural areas have long neglected the norms provided under the Act. Stop. The factory inspectors go only to urban areas and check up factories located there. Stop. Nowadays, we say that more and more factories should be located in rural areas. Stop. More and more thrust is laid on setting up factories in rural areas. Stop. More benefits are given to industries set up in rural areas. Stop. Factory inspectors have been vested with the powers to inspect whether the safety measures provided in a factory are enough, whether the factory is in a hazardous position, whether any chemical is being used. Stop. When we demand that factories should be increasingly located in rural areas, then we must also ensure enforcement of the Factories Act in those areas. Stop. I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister to 3 or 4 amendments sought to be made under this bill. Stop era. I am referring to the Site Appraisal Committee which is to be appointed under this amendment. Stop. The bill refers to the chairman and representatives of the central board and the state board. Stop. On the state board, it is provided that not more than 5 other members may be co-opted by the state government who shall be scientists having special knowledge of the hazardous process which will be involved in the factory. Stop. Secondly, representatives of the local authority within whose jurisdiction the factory is to be established. Stop. Thirdly, not more than 3 other persons as deemed fit by the state government. Stop. I draw attention to this particular provision of 3 other persons as deemed fit by the state government. Stop. Here, when they define the persons who are to be appointed, they specify scientists and representatives of the local authority, but in regard to the other representatives, they are from the factories, the Central Board for Prevention and Control of Water Pollution and Air Pollution. Stop. I would like to submit that it should contain a clause that two representatives from out of the three should be trade union leaders. Stop.